As you may not know, I've been doing YouTube for 8 years now, and I realized that no one knows my villain origin story. So today, we're going to talk about my job before YouTube.
Ooh, that's exciting.
Oh, that's
Woo!
fun.
Swag lord, swag lord.
Um,
Oh,
so I wasn't
so good
always a
influencing.
YouTuber, and before I started, I was a poor little uni student, and I was so poor I couldn't afford today's unofficial sponsor, McDonald's. They
Okay.
stopped advertising with a clown when their prices became the funniest joke of all. I mean, what the fuck is this? I paid
Oh my-
$5 for this. Five fucking dollary dues.
When did this become I hate McDonald's? What were we talking about?
What is that normal?
For the second time, McDonald's is a key player in a Swag Academy.
Yeah, that's true.
True. Yeah.
But for evil this time.
This time, they were always evil.
so
He's so
basically,
sad.
I was a real sad boy because I was really poor. I didn't have a job like
Yeah.
the whole uni year. So by the end of the first year, in terms of money, I had no money.
Your feet were bigger than your hands too.
I had real big feet for my hands. I'll tell you that. Anyway, I lived in a university dorm, but like after uni finishes, they kick you out. So I moved back in with my parents for 3 months over the summer break, right? Now my parents live in the Riverland, and the Riverland kind of has fuck all in it. Like my hometown has like 5,000 people. Like it is just not very big, right?
Mhm.
So anyway, I get home, and my mum's like, "Hey, there's a winery looking for workers. You should apply." And I'm like,
Do we have to
"Good
bleep
job."
that? Do we have to bleep that sentence, Skipty?
What? What? Oh. Monsters.
So anyway, I apply. I take an interview. They realize I have more than two brain cells to rub together, and I get the job. So anyway, first day I show up, and the workforce are just like they're all older guys. They got like their high vis shirts on with like a fucking pie in one hand and a Farmers Unionized coffee in the other, and they swore like sailors. Like that would be
Uh-oh.
selling them short. I once asked the guy what the deal was with our seller manager, and he just took one look at me and said, "Oh, that fuckwit. No cunt likes him. No cunt loves him. No cunt wants to be his friend."
So, Skipty, how do you feel about the monetization of this video?
I'll just go hang myself. It's fun.
oh, oh no, Skippy has to do a minute of editing.
Christ. Oh, right. We're having fun here today. Oh, he's sad again.
Look at this point, I had just turned 20. I had absolutely zero experience on the job, and my official title was shit kicker. It basically paid better than an intern, but I could only wish for that much respect. Basically, if no one wanted to do something, it was probably going to be assigned to me. Now the whole winery was just like, it was just filled with these enormous stainless steel tanks, right? And most of the cellar work is just using like hoses to pump wine from one tank to another. Well, like the workers in Age of Empires, like that was basically us in high vis.
Okay, wow.
Yo, I get that reference. Actually, so
Yeah.
accurate.
Sklepos. Ding,
Now they
ding, ding.
like this picture is a very good like representation of a winery. It's just like rows and rows of these like 10-meter tall tanks. Like that's all they were. Like you would fit hundreds of thousands of liters of wine into this thing. So all right, so my very first day or night, because I started on night shift, started at midnight, and it was fucking cold.
Night shift represent. Let's go.
Unfortunately, first day I forgot my jumper, but I figured, hey, this is a pretty physical job. I'll just I'll just walk around a little bit, I'll be lugging things around. This will be fine. I'll be warm in no time. So I get to work, and my shift manager says, "All right, mate, come with me." And he takes me to a tank, and he's like, "All right, climb these stairs. We're just going to start filling up this tank with wine. And when it's full, just let us know." So you're going to make a good impression. I make my way up the catwalk. I go to the tank, and I yell down, "It's empty." He then replies, "Oh, yeah, mate, you're going to be up there a while."
Oh my god.
Here I was. It was like 40 fucking minutes. Like, I was up there, 1 a.m. in the morning, no jumper. It was about 4 fucking degrees on one of the windiest nights of the year. And in hindsight, it was a sign of things to come.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm
Slides are amazing, honestly.
You can tell
another-
Swag is an editor.
Another time I was being taught how to add like one of the magic ingredients to the wine.
Alcohol?
I have no idea what it was.
I bet it was
I can't
alcohol.
remember. It was just like some kind of powder, right? And I distinctly remember the guy saying, "All right, mate, you just tear the pack here and dump it on in. Oh, now this shit causes 8 different types of cancer, and we should be wearing masks, but fuck if I know where they put them. She'll be right, though."
Lovely.
The use of the phrase
no,
"she'll be right" in the most inappropriate circumstances in Australia kills me.
We
I
have
just-
that in the UK as well, though. Like, if you go to countryside, people will be like, "She'll be right, though."
Yeah. But what's funny is like I was in Champagne like earlier this year, and it's like, oh yes, we take care of the grapes, and when we take the grapes, we kiss the grapes, and we put the grapes in the bowl, and and it's all. And then it's just Australian wine production.
This into a van till it's full.
If you fall in the vat, you're just gonna become mulch for the wine. It adds the flavor.
It's protein.
Oh man, like this job was like really how the sausage is made, right? Like
This is like the Warhammer version of making wine.
Like you gotta have that corpse starch added in somehow.
Exactly.
Yeah, you gotta praise the machine spirit, you know.
The anyway, sorry.
So basically, the most common thing you have to do for like cellar work is to clean the inside of the tanks, right? So like if wine's going from one tank to another, they need it to be clean so the wine isn't contaminated. So red wine going into white wine kind of thing. Now to do this, you use a combination of pumps and hoses, but the secret ingredient is industrial grade acid.
Oh my.
Well, vinegar, I'm sure.
Now, knowing what was actually in this stuff was above my pay grade, but you had to wear gloves, goggles, and an apron to be anywhere near it. And they just said, whatever you do, don't fucking get it on your skin.
Oh.
Now, sure
You've never
enough,
seen what swag looks like.
sure enough, about 2 weeks into the job, I was cleaning a tank as usual, and I was just breaking down all the hoses and fittings to move them elsewhere. But as I mentioned, these hoses were filled with acid, and when they're being pumped up to 10 meters into the air, there tends to be a lot of pressure at the bottom. So when I undid a hose fitting, immediately it like came loose, and the pressure at the top was released at the bottom, and acid came out and immediately hit me in the eyes.
Oh my god, dude. I'm sorry that happened.
Now, I was alone. This winery was huge, and I could barely see. I'm not exactly a man of science, but the one thing they told me about this stuff is that normal water would not help.
Jesus.
Fucking miracle,
We were this close to none of us ever meeting.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah. True.
This is near like a Joker level event for you.
Actually, yeah. It really is
My
one
villain
one.
origin story, bro. I'm telling you. By an absolute fucking miracle, this like This happened only 5 meters away from the only fucking eye wash station in the entire winery. So RN Jesus was with me that day. That is the only reason I still have vision.
Now hold on. Do you think they were with you when the acid went in your eyes?
No.
'Cause I feel-
he turned the J-Man turned away for a second, and Swag's natural like luck stat kicked in. God turns back around, and he's like, "Oh, come on, man!"
Now
He
he rolled
rolled
a
a nat
20. He rolled
one.
20.
He rolled a nat 1 followed by a 20. It's,
Yeah, he rolled a
odd.
nat 1 on his work check, and then a nat 20 on his luck check.
So a few weeks later,
Nice.
I guess I didn't learn my lesson.
Oh my!
How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man?
Well, all right. To be fair, this time I was actually wearing goggles, right? But
Ooh, you learned your lesson.
I know I did learn my lesson a little bit, except instead of the fitting just like coming loose a little bit, it came off completely. So I was now fucking covered in this stuff, like
You are the Joker.
submerged. I was submerged from the chest down. So yeah, I was basically the
Oh.
Joker. Like, but again, I was wearing my goggles, so it was literally like the meme of the goggles. They do nothing. So officially at this point, I should have stopped work, went to the emergency shower, and filed out an incident report, right? But even in that moment, covered from head to toe in acid, I was nowhere near as toxic as that workplace culture.
Oh,
To say that there was a rift between workers and management would be a fucking understatement. And the guys I work with told me that if someone fucked up, it was like an unwritten law that you'd help cover it up.
Oh.
Um,
Oh. Oh
Yeah,
no.
so here's a little example. So I was once walking down a row of tanks that was it was like 20 meters long, maybe, and the entire floor was just covered with wine. And as I was walking past, like there were maybe like 15 guys like hurriedly sweeping it all down drains, and it was like it so much leaked that it was up so high that you couldn't even see their feet. I talked to one of the older guys about it, and he called it, quote, one of the smaller spills.
Jeez.
Um,
Monka.
Around halfway through my time there, we get called into like a drug and alcohol meeting, and they're like, please, guys, don't come to work high, don't come to work drunk. It's very important. And just as they said that, one of the cellar workers puts up their hand and says, yeah, but what if I have a few beers?
Oh, that's fine then, mate.
As long as
And
you're
the
not drunk.
HR lady goes, well, as long as you're under 0.05 and you're not operating heavy machinery, you're still allowed to work here. Like their standards were just so fucking low. Like you again, if you had two brain cells to rub together, like they were like, welcome aboard.
Do
So,
you
like-
have a pulse? Okay.
So like later that day, I was like on a shift with like an older guy, right? And in about 20 minutes before the end of the shift, he picks up an empty wine bottle and says, "Oh, I think I'll go and exercise my right to 0.05." And then comes back 5 minutes later with a full wine bottle, and I was very happy for him.
Amazing.
I later asked
So-
someone, yeah,
Oh,
anyone had any questions?
Good
was
to
gonna
see
I was,
you.
I was about to say, it
sorry.
sounds like me when I'm getting ready to do my video editing.
So I'm guessing drinking like a long neck VB bitter is like it's a no go, but one of the stubby ones you can have.
hey. It's all under 0.5. Wink.
Yeah, true.
it's your right.
You're right.
At one point, I actually asked someone why there seemed to be so much of an emphasis on these drug and alcohol seminars, and he just looked at me and said, "Oh, you have to fucking be on Sun to work at this place." Now, it was safe to say that the managers didn't think all that highly of me. And if the cultural rift between worker and manager wasn't enough, I didn't exactly make for a good seller hand. Like, one time me and my work partner deprived the whole site of water because we hooked up an exceptionally powerful pump to the mains, meaning we literally sucked out all the water from the pipes. Now,
Genius.
without water, you can't do anything at a winery. So
No,
the
yeah,
whole
that's-
place was more or less shut down for like 3 hours. There were like 50 people just like sitting on their hands going, "Oh man, it's kind of weird all this water shut off," right?
And they didn't fire you?
We're not done with the presentation.
I was too incompetent to fire.
What does that
Well, they didn't train you, it seems. So
They
really,
felt
that's on
bad.
them.
They felt bad, and it was a charity to hire.
Mhm.
Well, the training was like non-existent. They were like, "Yeah, you're expected to like do it once, or no, watch someone do it, and then immediately be qualified to teach someone else." So like, you know the game Chinese Whispers, like that was their fucking like training policy.
Efficient.
No,
not
man. Another time, right? At the start of my shift, the shift manager simply told me to go and take a lawn chair and watch two guys fix a machine. Now at the
Those are- you had a
time,
good time.
at the time, I didn't know why the fuck they'd have me sit in a comfy chair for 3 hours while everyone walked past me carrying heavy equipment and like carrying buckets of acid, right? It just didn't make sense to me that somehow like I was the supervisor of these two hyper competent men who like they were fixing a machine that I don't even have the mechanical vocabulary to describe, right? Um like I half expected this whole thing to be like the supervisor just not liking me, and this was just like a weird ploy to just naturally build up resentment among everyone else. Like,
They were
I
like,
mean,
you know,
"Hey, go be incompetent near your co."
Yeah.
They dislike
Yeah,
you.
from what I'm seeing is like you were so incompetent. They're like, okay, sit in this chair and just watch everybody else.
Yeah,
do
so this
the-
don't do anything, and things will be
Don't
better.
don't hurt anything, and you won't be fired. And then we don't have to fill out the paperwork to fire you. It's a win-win.
you know that scene of The Simpsons where like there's like a health inspector and they're like, "Oh, Homer, what are we doing down here?" And he's like, "To guard the bee." Look, I think I think at the time it was more like I don't know if you've seen like Full Metal Jacket. Like they punished a guy by like you're gonna stand here and eat donuts and we're gonna make everyone else do push-ups.
Yep.
Like it was like the same thing, right? Anyway, it turned out that the two guys I was watching were contractors who were never inducted onto the site. So I was technically like their assigned supervisor because I was inducted. Um, the winery basically just needed a scapegoat if anyone hurt themselves.
Ah.
Wow.
Oh, this guy, he was supposed to be watching them.
Classic
Um, when it occurred to me, I was literally promoted from shit kicker to designated sacrificial lamb.
That's quite the promotion right there.
In Yu-Gi-Oh! Scapegoat is a great card.
Now, for some reason or another, this I have ever met.
Okay, you
Like,
gotta
one
restate
guy
it. You gotta
Hold on.
repeat it. You got cut out.
Yeah, your audio cut. If you could repeat that sentence.
All right. So this place, for whatever reason, attracted some of the most interesting people that I've ever met. Right. So what one guy told me that he quote had tried every single drug under the sun.
Love that.
Now, when I went to question him about how he hadn't fallen victim to some form of crippling addiction, he just said, "Oh, it's easy, mate. Just try them all once."
Yeah, you can't be spending all your money on crack if you also need to buy heroin, weed, and a copious amount of whiskey.
He's not addicted to drugs. He's addicted to trying drugs.
No, he's addicted to drug.
Exactly. He's not addicted to crack. He's addicted to drugs.
Yep.
He's one of those people that's like, you have to try it once, like, jumping
All
in
of
front
the
of a
drugs.
moving
Dude,
car.
oh my god, I know. This guy is the textbook definition of somebody who thinks Benadryl is a drug. Actually real, man.
Mhm.
Another guy worked in a mine before he landed at this place, and he told me that on his first day of working there, he went to his boss and said, "Hey, I've got no equipment. I can't do my job. What do you want me to do?" And his boss just told him to, quote, "look busy." So, sure enough, he finds a digger laying around, and for the next 6 hours of his shift, he just starts digging a hole. And then for the next 6 hours of his shift, he filled it in again.
It would have been hilarious
Guys-
if he like hit something.
The water
can I-
main.
Can I just say, as somebody who works currently in the industrial area, this is a real thing.
Busy work.
Thank you for the
So-
diggy diggy hole reference, Jesse.
All right.
Appreciate
I don't know if this is further into your presentation, Swag, but I know that like or what is it called? Like suing culture isn't much of a thing outside of the States, but like did you ever pursue any sort of litigation? Because this workplace sounds like you got some free money sitting around somewhere for like the bullshit you went through.
This is
Genuinely.
actually Exhibit A in his lawsuit. This video.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But I'll let you continue. I was just thinking that this whole time.
No, my fucking mate works there, so I don't want to sue his workplace,
You still have a friend who
that's-
works in this industrial hazardous waste disposal
Still got a man
plant?
down.
Yeah, but like I was a shit kicker. He's like an actual winemaker, so he's got respect,
He's
He-
got
He's
skin
got
in the game.
clout. Oh my
Yeah.
god, he has wine clout.
I'm gonna say if you're willing to drop the brand, I want to see if they have it at one of my local
guess
stores,
it's
so I can
friend of
know the history and the bloodshed that's gone through for that bottle of wine.
You'll find it. You'll find it at the place that you took me, Colin.
Yeah, good total wine.
Why don't we'll discuss this offline?
Yeah. No,
The next time we have a meetup of the team,
We'll
someone
all
brings a
have bottles
bottle of that wine.
True blue Aussie wine.
Oh hell yeah!
No, I'm pretty sure this place was like contracted to make American wine, so I don't know. It'd be the way it do.
So you're saying there's a chance.
Mhm.
Maybe. So, but basically, this guy who would like dig a hole for 6 hours and fill it in again for the next 6, he managed to do this for 2 whole weeks before they actually get his equipment on site.
Oh, dude, I
Holes.
love that guy. That's so smart.
The
That's so
commitment
clever.
is the bit.
For 2 weeks.
You're gonna admire this guy even more because miners in Australia are like the richest motherfuckers you will ever come across. He was getting paid $1,000 a day for this.
No fucking way.
Diggy hole.
Oh my
Can I
god,
do
he's
that?
he's a dwarf. He's actually just a dwarf.
He made it.
Good
Yeah, he
board.
made
Dig
it.
the hole. Dig the
No,
hole.
yeah, he's digging the hole. He's stockpiling resources, and he's finessing the system. He's just a dwarf. Like that's.
How
I mean,
to
he made
his motherfucker.
10,000 American Australian monies, which is like monopoly money, but it's still a lot of money.
True.
Sure. Yeah.
I later asked him like what was it like working down the mines, and he said, "Oh yeah, pretty good. I actually knew a guy just like you back there." And I replied, "Oh, what did he do?" He then said, he got caught in one of the machines, and I had to spray him off the fucking wall.
You remind me just of him.
Oh god!
This
Hey,
was Swag's
kid,
friend.
Hey kid, you want to take a spin in my digging machine, buddy?
I bet your gut spread real good against the wall there, boy.
The best guy though was someone they just told me to assist one day. So I go and find him, and the very first thing he says was, "All right, there's 3 things you're gonna know about me. 1, I think global warming's a bunch of bullshit.
Okay. Wow.
Good
Hard-
baseline.
Great
powerful move.
2, I'm a Holocaust denier."
Oh,
Jesus
Christ!
Yup.
Ooh, Skipty, can I
what
say?
number 3 is?
Skipty, am I allowed to say fuck?
Yeah. Good luck monetizing those.
Go
And
on.
3, I think Jews rule the world.
Oh my god.
Yeah, 2 kind of leads into 3. Crazy.
Yo,
Just
average
why?
Kanye West fan.
Jesus,
New album, yeah, out soon.
Jesus Christ!
Vernier, that was really good.
He's not even wrong though.
He's not.
You're welcome.
I did not see that coming.
That shift was probably the best day I had at that job, because just as a reminder, this is how he introduced himself.
He's the real life bigoted Bill.
He's those people like when you go on a date, you just say all your red flags out immediately, so it's
Oh,
like
wow.
doesn't come as a surprise. Surely it doesn't get worse than this.
He's who Auntie Donna based bigoted Bill off of. They are Australian.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Look, about a minute after I fucking met him, and he said that, I'm like, oh, today's gonna be a good day. Like, we had not yet reached the mountaintop after that. I would later find out that he used to be an accountant, and for reasons he refused to tell me, this was no longer his profession.
I can only imagine.
Eventually, the summer break was over, and I handed in my resignation. But it's safe to say I came out a changed man. So last time I heard the place, they actually started doing random drug tests, and in their first batch of 10, 1 person passed.
Was it the Holocaust denier?
He doesn't want to pollute his pure blood with the drugs.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can-
7 failed,
Ooh.
and 2 told them to go fuck themselves.
I can do you one better. I was not in that class, but in my Christian college, all but 1 person got caught cheating on the final for the ethics in ministry class.
That's pretty impressive.
Oh.
My buddy was the 1 person who didn't cheat. And the teacher was just like,
you weren't in it.
"What are you doing here then?"
That's
For
true. I was
everyone else.
I was the buddy. Yep.
Being a good student.
True, by the way. True story.
They found out, and the teacher's like, guys, you don't understand. The test was whether to cheat or not. You all failed.
Swag, your workplace is a Monty Python skit. Genuinely.
Real.
So basically, after I finished, over the next year, I would pretty much become a hermit. I would just like herb down and make as many YouTube videos as I could, because like the place was such a shitty workplace that it just pushed me to just like do anything I could to not have to go back there.
Nice.
Thankfully, by I think it was like 2018, like after that, like I was just making enough on YouTube that, you know, thank fuck I didn't, and I've just never had a real job since.
I am very curious now. This
The
would
villain origin story. I, I hope you all had fun laughing at my misery, and I hope fucking none of you ever get to work at a winery anytime soon.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.